Hello all, it's James Johnson, aka Sulphurblade, and I'm back here with War on the Sea. And my continued, or well not continued, but brand new series, where we're playing War on the Sea as the Americans this time, utilizing the newest version of Tokyo Express, on the stable version of the game. So, yeah, since we're going to be on the stable version of the game, we might not have any game-breaking bugs going forward in the near future because we're not playing on the beta version of the game. Let's hope. Will we make it to the end of this series? Who knows? But it does look like it's going to be interesting because the Tokyo Express mod has added more cool stuff. Some of you may be aware of it. Some of you might not watch other people. But if you do watch other people, then you may have seen some of the new cool stuff. But for some of you, it may be your first time seeing some of the new cool stuff that comes along with Tokyo Express mod, and I look forward to showing it to you. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's just jump on into the game and get through this opening section here. So, Attack on Pearl Harbor, Prelude. Since 1937, Japan and China have been engaged in a protracted conflict of the Second Sino-Japanese War. America, along with other Western nations, including Britain and Australia, have embargoed the sale of oil, steel, and iron ore to Japan in an attempt to stem further expansionism. Japan plans occupation of the Dutch East Indies and Malaya as an alternate source of natural resources, and on December 7th, 1941, launches a multi-pronged offensive throughout the Pacific. The goal is to quickly secure Japanese interests, set up defensive perimeters, and then negotiate peace with the Americans from this position of strength. December 7th, 1941, as part of the numerous offensives launched, aircraft from 6 Japanese fleet carriers attacked Pearl Harbor and crippled the United States Pacific Fleet. The surprise attack finally draws America into World War II. 48 May 1942. In order to expand the southern perimeter, the Empire of Japan undertakes Operation Mo, the invasion of Port Moresby in New Guinea, as well as Tulagi in the Solomon Islands. The ensuing naval battle, the first carried out by Japanese aircraft only, ultimately turns back the Port Moresby invasion. A light carrier, a destroyer, and several smaller vessels are lost by the Japanese. Allied forces suffer significant losses with the sinking of the fleet carrier Lexington, a destroyer, and an oiler. Yorktown, the other U.S. fleet carrier participating, is damaged and hastily returns to Hawaii for repairs. Battle of Midway. Japan turns its attention to the U.S. base at Midway in a plan to lure the Americans into a decisive naval battle. The massive strike force contains 4 fleet carriers along with numerous battleships and cruisers, enough to overpower any opposition. Yet, Allied codebreakers have discerned the plan, sending 3 fleet carriers to lie in wait for the approaching enemy. In a stunning victory for the Allies, all 4 Japanese fleet carriers, the Akagi, the Kaga, the Soryu, and the Hiryu, are sunk along with the heavy cruiser Mikuma, for the loss of the fleet carrier Yorktown and the destroyer Haman. 5 August 1942. The Battle of Midway. Last month has significantly weakened Japan's carrier strength in the Pacific and allowed the Allies to go on the offensive. One initial goal is to secure the southern Solomon Islands in a plan codenamed Operation Watchtower. Priority for the operation intensifies as Japanese troops began construction of an airfield on the island of Guadalcanal. Such an airfield would allow long-range bombers to attack the supply lines between America and Australia, as well as provide air cover for Japanese naval forces pushing farther south. Japanese supply ships carrying construction materials for the airfield continue to arrive, while the Allies make preparations to seize Guadalcanal. Alright, campaign summary. What are our goals of this TTE version of the American campaign? Well, first and foremost, we must build a rank 5 airfield on Guadalcanal. 2, we need to take control of Guadalcanal, Florida Islands, and Maleta. And we must maintain control of Port Moresby and Milne Bay. Alright, with that out of the way, let's continue on. Okay, game is paused. Good. So I am going to do something a little different in this particular American playthrough. Because we have an influx of British/Australian units in this version of TTE, I'm going to attempt to create an American command and a British-Australian command. And I'm going to separate my command points between the two of them. Ships sunk by one command will get to use those command points to reinforce their side of things, and ships sunk by the other command will get to use those command points to reinforce their strategic goals. The Americans will be operating out of New Hebrides with the primary goals of capturing Guadalcanal, capturing Florida Islands, and capturing Maleta, as well as Renal Islands. So the Americans are going to focus here, operating on New Hebrides. The British, on the other hand, the British/Aussies, are going to focus on the defense of Port Moresby and Milne Bay, as well as possibly pushing into Buena and Lae in the future if they're able to accomplish that. We'll see. So anyway, this is going to be a little bit confusing, but I'm going to be separating command points between the two of them. Excuse me. Initially, I'm thinking the Americans are going to get a little bit more of the pie to initially start off with. Let's just go ahead and jump in and see what we're going to end up doing here. So in New Hebrides, New Sea. 'm as the Americans, I'm definitely want a carrier. That's going to be my first and foremost purchase, as I will kind of work everything around the carrier situation. Alright, the Yorktown and Lexington are 120. The Wasp is 100. So the Wasp is less expensive. The Bogues... 100 is a lot of the points. It really is. But I feel... I do want to start that. Well, maybe we just go with an escort carrier for now. I mean, that's going to give us 8... What is that, Avengers? So horrible American torpedo planes, as well as 16 Wildcats that have limited range. On top of it, they only go 18 knots. Yeah, this is like having the Ho show, but you have more of them. Right. All right, maybe we should just start with the. I want to look at some things. Really? New Hebrides doesn't have any supply here, huh? So I take it the supply comes in down here. Or I'm looking at the wrong number. Why? I'm looking under. There's a bunch of fuel here. Okay. There's a bunch of engineering here. That's weird. Okay, and what's the deal here? Alright, that's just all confusing. Huh. Okay, I'm confused. Right. I think we're gonna need. New C. We'll start with. Alright, we got new merchants too. Right. So what's the difference in these merchants? Huh. So the C3 for 10 has more guns than this guy, which is more expensive. Alright, well. And apparently only has flat coverage on one side of the ship. We have another oiler here. A gunless oiler. A lot cheaper, actually. Well, I don't see why I would use these more expensive variants. Unless they can carry more, but I don't see any statistics on how much they carry. And I doubt they carry more or less. So we're going to start off with a new oiler because it's cheaper. Yes, it doesn't have guns, but I don't care that it doesn't have guns. So there we are, a gunless Petopsko. And a C3 merchant. Okay, so we can haul engineering and oil right there. A little bit. Do we need to be hauling engineering and oil at this point in time? Probably not. Now that I'm thinking about it, no. Alright, maybe we'll just start with 2 C3s. Okay. One for supply, one for troops. Troop and supply. Makes sense. Okay, and with these 2 C3s, they'll need an escort. Clemson and Wicks class destroyer escort. Clemson and Wicks APD class destroyer escort. What is this guy? So 4 4-inch guns, 60 depth charges. Nice. Messed up flak, evidently. And do we have sonar? Active sonar of 1 nautical mile, passive sonar of 14. With air and surface search radar. That's pretty capable. So the Farragut's only have 9 nautical miles of passive sonar. This has 14. So this is equal to a Mahan? Yeah, this has the sonar of a Mahan, evidently. Seems like all the destroyers have the same radar there. Okay. Those are cheap. They only do 24 knots, but they're escorting merchant ships that. I think these are the perfect ships for escorting the merchants with. Alright, so 1, 2. Amphibian. Well, if I could spell it. Alright, I pulled the trigger. Amphibious Group 1 is done. Amphibious Group 1, you're gonna go ahead and manage cargo. Gonna grab troops and supply. Do I want to load these two? I mean, I might as well. We'll throw troops on them. And we're gonna head to Reno. It's only gonna take 31 hours. But we'll eventually get there. Alright, in the meantime, I think we need something like that going on down here. Okay, so Cairns it is. New C. We'll grab the Georgie Badger. That's a cool name. Okay, so the Georgie Badger and Brooks with we're gonna actually grab 2 of those bad boys, and we'll call this Low Group 1. And they're gonna go pick up the, well, there's actually might be some oil here, huh? No, there's no fuel here. There's just engineering here. Just weird. But okay. Okay, 2 C3s with our cheap little escorts again. We're going to call this Engineer Group 1. Done. Manage cargo, please. Yes. Load engineering on that. Load engineering on that. Yeah, you guys can, I guess, pull some supplies. I think we're going to take you up to Milne Bay. Alright, yeah, I did make the oil group. Just wanted to make sure I confirmed it. So now we have three little supply groups doing things. We need actual ships to fight with. We've already spent a fair amount of our budget. I think we're gonna have to go carrierless for now. Oh man, that would just suck to be carrierless. And those bogues are awful. If I don't get a carrier now, if I do get a carrier now, I'm gonna get. Yeah, I'm getting a carrier now. I've got to get a carrier now. Do I? Yeah, I'm gonna get a carrier now. I can't be carrierless. Alright, the Wasp, it shall be, I believe. Alright, Wasp, you're gonna need an escort. And I know just the ship I want with you. So, down to the light cruisers. You know it. There's only 4 Atlantas? Whoa, that's different. Well, one of the 4 will be with the Wasp. Damn. $43 Fletchers? That's a heck of a lot less than there used to be. It seems like they've cut down the numbers on a lot of these ships. Alright, destroyers. The heck? Sometimes these things are appearing, sometimes they're not. Weird. Okay, the Benham has... I think the Benham has the flak that I kind of want. As well as dual purpose. Alright. So we will go with 2 Benhams, a Wasp, and an Atlanta. That will be the American contingent. I guess the rest of the command points we're going to give to the Aussie-British contingent. We will call this CTF. I'm not able to put a dash in. Interesting. CTF. Wasp. Carrier Task Force Wasp. And done. Let's change your formation. No. Venom and Wasp. Just go ahead and swap. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Go. Wow, that's a... That seems a long ways. Shortland. Alright, Curiosity. The Dauntlesses have the range. These Avengers don't. Honestly, the Avengers are... Okay, so... We're going to want to operate somewhere around 320-ish from Guadalcanal. Stop that. Select friendly home port and use new C. I'm not trying to recruit ships. head around there. Alright, Cairns, you're new C. With the remaining 46 points, we're going to put a surface action group together comprising units that are, yeah. Oh look, another merchant ship. So if we went with one county, the Australia, and we went with a Perth, and a tribal, we're kind of out of money. That's not a lot of firepower. I'm not sure what that fleet would do, besides be different. No, yeah, you know, they had limited resources, didn't have a lot of ships available. We're gonna go with this. What shall we call this fleet? HMSAG, Her Majesty's Surface Action Group. Australia? Sure. Her Majesty's Surface Action Group, Australia. Why not? Oh, I didn't actually hit done on the, damn it. I do that. I did it again. Oops, I did it again. Wait. Did I not actually put you in here? So one tribal, one Perth, and the Australia. Rename it HMSAG Australia. Okay. And done. Alright, all our command points are spent. We have basically putzed around and we have actually spent our points. And we don't have a lot to work with. It's pretty bare bones at this point in time. Let's get the ships moving somewhere. I feel like you are going to operate somewhere in that area. Yes. Okay. We have you going somewhere. Now we need to actually throw up. And no, I don't mean throw up, but you know, send out. Yeah, that's a better word. Send out our ducks and Catalinas and mariners. All right, these mariners have some pretty hefty bombs. The Catalinas and ducks, however, I think we'll use for spotting. The mariners are probably going to be our... Oh, they have okay endurance. And what are the other loads we can... With that, wow, that's some real endurance there. What's a sap bomb? I don't even know. Anyway. Okay, ducks without anything on them. One at a time. Done. Course. 340 is the endurance on these guys. So we'll go something along the lines of... And are you actually going to do the dog leg, or are you going to miss the dog leg? You're claiming you're going to do the dog leg. We'll see if you do it. And whoops. No. Alright, the Catalinas have some wicked endurance without anything aboard. something like that. And that. Oh, they actually carry 2 torps. Oh, that's pretty wicked. These Catalinas actually might be very deadly in and of themselves. How are we gonna send you? Right, Milne Bay, P-40 Kitty Hawk, Beaufighters, and Catalinas. Alright, well, we're going to use these Kitty Hawks for spotting. I don't want to get too close to Shortland and Raboul, or they're going to start trying to shoot us down constantly. Now, Port Moresby, what do we got here? Interesting. Mitchells, Beauforts, Air Cobras, and Lightnings. Well, we're gonna use the lightnings. Damn, they've got endurance. Alright, how's that gonna look? Interesting. Alright, we'll do something like that with that one. Bizarre flight patterns these are. We'll leave the rest of you four as a group. And we'll get a little more aggressive with you guys. That might get us some eyes on some interesting stuff moving along the way every now and then, and it will probably end up attracting some attention too. Look, it's like a finger. The bad guys are over there. I'm drawing pictures now. All right, New Hebrides, your turn. You've got lightnings. Got a lot of lightnings. Let's leave your lightnings together. Now let's split them in groups of 6. And we're going to do some aggressive scouting with them as well. Alright, something like that. Repeat. I think that's enough eyes in the sky. Let's just watch their first wave head out, and then we'll probably wrap up this episode before we actually get into any combat. We're just going to watch the pretty little airplanes fly out on their very first scouting trip and see if I obviously made some sort of major error in my scouting. We have a couple of planes that seem to follow a fairly similar pattern, but that's not necessarily horrible. We have an encounter. Alright, so I guess we'll do one air encounter before wrapping up this episode. This is kind of what I figured would happen, that we would end up getting intercepted a lot over here. How big of a group is intercepting us? That's the next question. Three zeros? Well, let's see how the lightnings do versus the zeros. Oh, 6 zeros. Still, I'm interested. 1 zero down, 1 lightning down. So this is not exactly the best airplane for the game's version of dogfighting. The game doesn't really simulate boom and zoom tactics as much as it simulates, well, not boom and zoom tactics. Holy crap, there's 12 of them. Yeah, I think we're, some of these have floats. We got a whole... Wait. Most of them have floats? What are we dogfighting with? Well, it wasn't pretty. We might have to readjust that scouting flight. Wasting planes isn't exactly the best way to scout, I don't think. Here's a fleet already. 4 destroyers, 1 light cruiser, and 1 heavy cruiser. Our first targets of the campaign. And with that, let's wrap up this episode. Anyway, I am James Johnson, aka Softwareblade. This has been episode 1 of the American campaign for War on the Sea, with the brand new version of the Tokyo Express mod on the stable version of the game. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please smash the like button. And until the next time, all, peace.